the word dream is an interesting one because it can be used in different ways. It has a lot of different meanings and uses. We're familiar with the idea of a dream when we're sleeping, but then we can also have a dream in life. My dream to someday go to the moon. That is one of my dreams. But there are other ways to use it, and it can get a little fuzzy, a little blurry. So I think the best thing to do is explore this word in its different uses on the old blackboard. So let's talk about this in context. When I talk about words, I like to make sure that they're learned in sentences, in context. It's very bad to learn words in isolation. So we're going to pick this out, gain an understanding of it through real sentences. Because again, that is, in my view, the only way to do it. So I think the first one will be very easy for you. The first couple might be very easy. But again, we really just need to gain a deep understanding. I had a crazy dream last night. I was being chased by hundreds of gobbling turkeys. Sometimes I question why I come up with such ridiculous examples. But this is a common beginning. Put aside the turkey thing. I had a crazy dream last night. I had a terrible dream last night. I had a wonderful dream last night. I had an interesting dream last night. This is what you would say before you relate or share something that you dreamed about. I had a terrible dream last night. Oh, really? Tell me about it, says your friend. Well, I was walking in the forest and then suddenly I heard and then hundreds of gobbling turkeys started chasing me. And they chased me off a cliff, and I fell down, and then I stood up, and my teeth started falling out, and it was a nightmare. So bad dream would be the same as a nightmare. And that is the first thing we think about when we hear the word dream. And in that sense, it's very simple. Now, this word can be used as a noun or a verb. You can say, I dreamed that, or I dreamed about, and that would be using it as a verb, or I had an interesting dream. Noun or verb, very common. And in fact, the two most common meanings of this are going to be able to be used as a noun or verb, although for the second one, much more common as a noun. So there's an interesting difference there. So we need to explore that. Okay. So I dreamed that, and I dreamed about. Tell me about your dream. Okay, well, I dreamed that I was, and then you would begin and tell the story. You can also, by the way, if you want to talk about dreams, you can sometimes share them in the first person. In my dream, I'm sitting next to an old woman who has glowing red eyes and smells like white truffles. That's never happened. Can you smell things in dreams? I can't recall any specific smells in dreams. You can hear, you can see, and you can feel in dreams. But can you smell? I don't know. My dream is to someday live on the moon. Now, this one, totally different. This is similar to, and would be the same as, aspire. I aspire to someday live on the moon. I hope to someday live on the moon. Now, these are using them as verbs, but my dream is something that you would answer as a kid when an adult asks you what you want in life. What's your dream? My dream is to. Now, if you want to, you can say it like this. I aspire, I hope. You can say, I dream to someday live on the moon. Okay. But I want to mention this. I dreamed that, and I had a crazy dream. These are, I would say, close to equally common. But this one is not. I dream to talk about your aspirations. The noun form of this is aspiration. Is for the Verb form, far less common. Far less common. I dream to live on the moon. Sounds like you're 19th century guy talking about, in the mirror, talking to yourself and trying to, give yourself a little pep talk. It's weird. It's a little weird. It's not very common. I recommend my dream is. My dream is very simple structure. My dream is to. My dream is to what? Someday. That's a great one to add after to, because we don't know when it's going to happen. But if you want to take that out, you can. My dream is to visit. My dream is to meet. My dream is to live. My dream is to have. My dream is to see. Something like that. Usually a simple verb following my dream is to. Now, it gets a little more interesting here with other ways to use it. And we're going to explore that a bit, because I think that's more interesting. Because most people, I think, know these two and how to use them. They're pretty simple. Your plan to conquer the moon is a bit of a dream. Yeah, it's my dream. No. That's not what it means when I say is a bit of a dream. You have to understand the context of that and the way that it's phrased, especially a bit of a dream. Now, sometimes you'll hear pipe dream, but a bit of a dream is saying that it's not realistic. It's unrealistic, your dream. I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're living a bit too much inside your own head. And if you think that this is actually a dream that you can achieve, you're insane. You're nuts. I just wanted to let you know that you're clinically insane if you think this is going to happen, right? A bit of a dream is a very gentle way to put that. It's very gentle. It's not very direct. Now, do you have to say a bit of a dream? You could say a bit of, you could say kind of. That just makes it softer. If you want to be more direct and you just say, your plan to conquer the moon is a dream, it still has the same meaning, usually. I'm not telling you what your dream is, so the context would be, I'm only saying this to tell you that what your dream is not very realistic. So technically, the grammar could mean that I'm telling you what you aspire to, but in real life, in the context, that's not what it is. Because I could say, and this would be a fine sentence, your dream to conquer the moon is a bit of a dream. Aren't you saying the same thing twice? No. Your dream to conquer the moon, your plan to conquer the moon, is a bit of an unrealistic thing that you have in your head, which you may want to reconsider. Okay? You're living in a dream world is the same basic thing, but it's focusing on the fact that your whole reality in your head as you move through life is unrealistic. You need to figure out how to live in the real world. This is pretty much always a criticism. Is there any difference between these two? Well, I think this one is more specific, a thing that you say. Maybe otherwise you're a totally reasonable, rational person. But in this specific case, I think that it's not very realistic. So you're living in a dream. I could say you're living in a dream world there. It's fine. But this suggests, usually when we use it like this, sometimes it's written as two words, sometimes one. Usually it's suggesting that there's a broader issue with your grasp of reality. Your grasp of reality is not great. You have a lot of fantasies, a lot of things that you think will come true or may come true, and there's not a lot of foundation in the real world, and I'm maybe trying to help bring you back down to earth. Okay? So these are all pretty common, but of course, the first two are quite a bit more common, and usually the meanings that we think of immediately when we hear the word dream. Now, I want to bring up one simple phrase before we look at a few other use cases of this, and that is a common sentence. It's only a dream. It's only a dream. Perhaps sometimes here we could replace this with just. I don't know why I'm writing just like that. It's a weird J. Stop it, J. It's only a dream. It's just a dream. We would use this in two cases for both meanings. Well, two cases, one for each meaning. Let me say it like that. Someone has had a nightmare. Maybe your spouse, husband or wife, and they wake up in a cold sweat and they're breathing heavy. I'm being chased by turkeys. No. I'm being chased by turkeys. They're chasing me off a cliff. And they wake up and they're kind of, they've lost their sense of surroundings, right? They think they're still dreaming. And the other person, you, comforting your spouse. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. It's only a dream. It's only a dream. It's just a dream. So this is making sure that the idea that it's a dream, it's not real, is downplaying the dream. Dreams are not real. Dreams happen in your head. You're not really being chased by turkeys. And it can be a good way to calm people down in that situation. One time, I remember it very clearly, I dreamed, in my dream, that I looked up from my bed. So in my dream, I believed I was looking up to the edge of my bed. Crouching down at the end of my bed, I'm getting tingles just thinking about it, was a hunched figure. I couldn't see the face. I couldn't see the hands. It was just a shadowy figure hunched over my bed, looking at me with a creepy expression. I could see the mouth and the eyes looking at me, maybe glowing eyes. I don't remember. And I started saying, "This is a guy. This is a person. Is it?" in my sleep, I was saying that, panicking, thinking that I was about to be attacked. And then I woke up for real. So I did, in my dream, I sat up, but I was still dreaming when I sat up. So I saw that person at the end of my bed, and then I slowly realized that I was sitting up, but then the dream went away, and I realized that there was nobody there. And I think my wife said, "It's just a dream. It's only a dream." But that was terrifying. That was a long time ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Anyway, just an aside. The other way that we use this is to downplay our own aspirations. I want to live on the moon someday, but it's just a dream. It's only a dream. That means maybe it'll happen, maybe not. I might want to communicate with that I know it's not realistic. I realize it's kind of crazy. And I accept that it may not come true. It's only a dream. It's just a dream. And someone else could say that to me as well. It's just a dream. It's probably not going to happen. But I might equally say that to myself, or describe my aspiration to live on the moon with hundreds of turkeys as just a dream. Now, finally, I just want to wrap things up with a few other uses. I never dreamed we would end up having 12 kids. It was a dream come true to meet her in person. My dream house would have a Japanese garden, and this should have a period at the end of it. Okay, so we're using this in a few ways. Here, I never dreamed. That means it did happen. It happened. But the thing that happened goes against what I imagined previously. You hear people who have achieved amazing success say things like this. They've gone from living on the street to maybe becoming a famous actor or actress, and they really didn't think that would happen. I never dreamed that this would have happened to me. So usually that's a positive thing. It could be used negatively when something horrible happens. You didn't imagine that horrible thing would happen, but it did happen, and then you say, "I never dreamed something this terrible would happen to me." My sense is that this is used much more often to talk about positive things, unexpected life events that happen, which we did not anticipate before they happened, which we then look back on and reflect positively and think, wow, how did I get here? This is crazy. I have 12 kids. I thought I was going to have one. I never imagined that. It's similar to saying I never imagined I would end up having 12 kids, which means I do have 12 kids. It was a dream come true. Very common expression here. Pay attention to that one. This is something that happened that you always wanted to happen, and then it did happen. If you want to make this hypothetical, then you could say it would be a dream come true to meet her in person. Maybe there's some person you idolize, a singer or someone like that, and you say, it would be a dream come true to meet her in person. Or it would be a dream come true to see her in concert, right? I think one time I heard my father say it would be a dream come true to see Ringo Starr play live. He's one of the living Beatles remaining. There are two, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. And I don't know if he actually went, but there was a concert happening and he was thinking about buying tickets to see Ringo Starr play live. And he said it would be a dream come true. And if you did that thing, then you can say it was a dream come true. Very common. My dream house. Now notice this dream is being used as an adjective. This is the thing that lives in your imagination, the perfect object in your imagination, the perfect thing in your mind, whether it's a house or a job or a life or a family, whatever it is, right? Or a retirement. My dream retirement, my dream house. You don't have the house. It's not real. It's in your imagination. Maybe it will become real, maybe not. My dream house would have a Japanese garden. Maybe you like how they rake the stones and the sand and the stacks. I don't know that much about Japanese gardens, but it looks nice. And you want to describe your dream house. My dream house would be, it would be hot pink and have a Japanese garden and be surrounded by hundreds of turkeys. Okay, so that's an adjective to make sure that people know that it's not real. Hopefully now, the word dream and its many uses are much more clear to you. It's a little fuzzy. It can be a little confusing. The best thing to do anytime you want to deeply understand something is to look at examples. How is it being used in these sentences? How is it being used by native English speakers who are using this word in these sentences? Pay attention, listen, and always practice your own examples so that you can actually use it when you're in a situation when you would like to use it, okay? If you have any questions about this, let me know. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.